No, on the
Clearly,
real.
I'm not locked
What's
in yet. Clearly,
hold
it's me.
on. I can hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, I said clearly I'm not locked in yet. Clearly, it's
I
me.
no. It ain't you, bro. I'm lacking too. What's
Oh,
popping though? What's popping though?
damn, I'm all out of whack, dog. Hold on. Are you got me?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Here we go. Let's get right. Now, here we go. We right now. Uh, welcome back to GRG Pod, Game Recognized Gaming. You know, Ty, Kobe. You know, all good things happening. It's listen. We're real close to the holidays, man, and I mean, it's a joyous time in the year. Um, we
Definitely.
officially a week out from Christmas Eve, which and if we being honest, Christmas Eve has an argument as being just as fun as Christmas. I've always
I
felt like
think
that.
that's fair. I think
I've
that's fair.
always felt like that. Like Christmas Eve has always been just as fun. Like, yes, there's no gifts on Christmas Eve, but like the excitement that comes with Christmas Eve for the build up to Christmas is sometimes it kind of outweighs the actual Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever be mad excited for Christmas and then Christmas come and you be like still you be happy for your gifts, but then it's kind of like
Yeah,
this
I
is
feel like
over. It's
the excitement, all the excitement is like Christmas Eve, and then like Christmas, like oh, okay, that's cool, and
yeah,
then it's like, all right, what we about to do? Like,
yeah, like then it's kind of like damn, now it's over. You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
I feel like Christmas Eve has always had an argument for being just as fun or just as exciting as Christmas. It may be even more exciting. Like, yeah, the gifts are great, but once the gifts part is over, like as a kid, once the gifts part is over, it's kind of like, all right, like that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, guess we got to wait another 365 for this feeling again. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? That was always how I felt about it as a kid. Um, look though, a lot of things happening in sports, man. A lot of things happening in sports. Um, we're not gonna talk about it because I didn't read it. But did you see that Michigan actually put out a statement as to why they didn't fire the staffer?
No,
Um,
I missed that.
yeah, they put out a statement as to why they didn't fire the staffer that Sharon Moore was, in relations with. I thought that was interesting. I didn't read it though yet, so we're not going to necessarily like
It
you
was
know
funny.
what.
I clearly ain't do this live stuff right because ain't a damn thing popped up, but it's all good.
All right, hold on, because I didn't get the notifications either. So
Exactly. I thought we was.
you
I
thought you
thought
was
I
a
was
lot.
there, bro. I
You
thought I
thought you
was
was a
locked
lot.
in, bro. I
It's
thought
cool. It's cool,
nah.
brother. It's cool. I got you. I got you. Let's clear it. We only 5 minutes in, and I don't even think nobody here yet. So
Nah, yeah, we straight for real.
let's just listen. If you're here, let's let everybody know. If you're here right now, just go ahead and skip the next like 2 minutes while I figure this
Yeah,
out.
go get some water, get some chips, get a snack. Oh, and it don't even matter. Go walk your dog real quick. When you come back, we're gonna be straight.
And if you're sitting at work, just fast forward because yeah, that's that's it. Just fast forward because I got you. We're gonna get right, but just give me a second to do it. Here we go. Stream key. There we go. Save. It's all good, bro. I should have did it. hit go live over here. We should be good. We should be locked in a second. Now you should be.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, you got it.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
locked in now.
Now we locked. All right, bet. So I'll watch my joint from. I watch my page. You watch GRG page. All right, bet. So if you're here, I hope you skipped the last like 2 minutes. We had some technical difficulties. We had to go live on Instagram. We live on Instagram now. Now we can start the show. BOB here, POB here. I'm pretty sure in a few minutes. Ryan might pull up. He has been gone for a little second. Listen, Ryan blew up, man. Ryan got his own pod now. Nice studio. Y'all go check it out. Fourth Quarter Pod. They lit over there. They
For
lit,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Ryan doing a good thing. He got the guys over there, all that good stuff. Lock in with them. But yeah, appreciate y'all for coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their mama, all that good stuff. Now we can start the show. Sorry about that. Had to redo the intro, all that good stuff. Now, let's rock out. Todd, a lot of big things happening in sports. I think somebody look at these goals, man. Shout out to the guy, man. Shout out to the guy. Matter of fact, bro, if I send you Donnie, if I send you the link, can you pull up? We finna talk college football right quick. I would love to have you, bro.
Yeah. If not today, Friday, cool too. Whenever.
If not today, Friday, cool too. Whatever, bro. It's good. Just let me know. College football playoff. Here we go. Actually, I don't want to start with that because I want to give everybody time to get here. NBA. Knicks won the the cup. You know what I'm saying? They said they're not gonna hang a cup banner though.
How you feel about that?
I get it. I unfortunately probably not today with the GS fan right now. All right, bet Friday, 100%. Bet it. All right, listen, Donnie, I'm gonna get your info from your contact info from Trent, and then we can lock it in. I'm gonna set you up so we can get it on Friday. Bet. Appreciate you, my boy. Anyways, though, NBA Cup, Knicks decided not to hang the banner. I'm not mad at it because here's the thing. The past two winners, the Lakers won the first year, the Bucks won the second year. Both of them have recent NBA championships. I could imagine that if this happened in football and our respective teams who both have done next to nothing for the past 30 years, if they had some type of format where they could make something like this happen in football, I would assume that the players on our teams, the coaching staff, just knowing who Dan Quinn is, knowing who Shotty is, knowing who Dak is, knowing who Terry is, you know what I'm saying? All of those guys, I would assume that they probably would not want to hang, some in-season type vibe banner. You know what I'm saying?
The real one.
It ain't the real one. And when you have a team that has done next to nothing for as long as the Knicks have, as long as if we was talking football, the Cowboys, the Redskins have, then it's kind of a mute point, right? Like, yes, I'm happy we won. It shows that we're, you know what I'm saying, a decent team. And I get it. They went to the finals last year, but that doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? You wanted to win, or they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, I should say, but you want to win. And you want to win the big one. If you in the NBA, you want to win the Larry O.B. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a market in New York City like the Knicks are, if you're the team or the organization that the New York Knicks are, you want to win the big one, and that's probably way more important. It makes you feel good. It proves that at this stage of the season that you're still that you're a decent team, or that you're a pretty good team at this stage of the year. But it doesn't mean anything in the long run. Like, it guarantees you a spot in the playoffs, but that's about all it does. It gives the players some extra money. You know what I'm saying? It's good for the rookies or the young guys that don't have big contracts, guys not named Cat or Brunson, really. But outside of that, unless it was the inaugural one, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Lakers fan. Unless it was the inaugural one, I don't think it hasn't
Matter.
reached, huh?
I will say it hasn't really like matter. It ain't.
Yeah, it hasn't proved anything. Even with the Lakers that year, they looked like they were going to be a good team. I think Brian got hurt later in the season. And we was fighting for a play-in spot by the end of the year. I feel like in the game of basketball, this tournament is so early in the season, which it should be, because if it were later in the season, then it would kind of be like, like, let's not do that. Let's not add that to a later part of the season. But it's early in the season, and in an 82 game season, how we have, it's the first third of the season. It really doesn't signify what you will be or what you can be later on in the season. So for me, I'm kind of like, I get why they don't want to hang it. It's different than what they were trying to mimic and replicate in soccer. How they have that big in-season tournament. You know, like they play league championships in soccer like every year. Every time you turn around, you looking at some soccer team playing in some form fashion of a championship that matters. You know what I'm saying? Kind of in season. It doesn't feel the same way in the NBA though. It hasn't reached that magnitude yet where it really signifies who's going to be that top dog at the end of the season. And I don't know if it ever will. I'm sure that it will continue to matter. It will continue to be a fun thing. But as far as hanging a banner for it, if you do hang a banner for it, I get it. If you don't hang a banner for it, I also get it. Like I don't think they're corny per se for not hanging a banner for winning the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I also say that they're probably trying to save themselves from jokes too.
Yeah.
Cause like you mentioned, they ain't won nothing. They ain't run no real trophy in the last 30 years.
Yeah, like they would literally be next to a banner from 96.
That's what I'm saying. So like
from 95.
They can be like, what is this? Like, we don't. So I get it. I would say it took me by surprise, low key, only because I felt like, or I guess I was thinking they were trying to make it a tradition, like whoever wins it hands it better for it, and they're trying to get it to like stick per se. That's probably why I thought the Lakers and then the Bucks did it. Like, we want it to matter. We got to get people to care about it, so that's why we're gonna raise the banner. And then the Knicks come along and they like, well, I don't know about all of that. What's good?
Go with y'all boys. How you feeling?
But yeah, I don't know if they was, like I said, I ain't tripping. Like, I get them. I get both sides to it. If they wanted to raise one or if they don't. In the Knicks case, it's probably better for them, like you say, if they don't, because they haven't won anything recently. But I mean, I don't know. Take your accomplishments when you get them, low key. Like, you won an in-season cup, you won the extra money. Hey, why not put it up there, stern on them? Like, don't let them. You make the banner. Don't let them make the banner. You feel me? Like, they can criticize, but it's whatever. But we're gonna see what happens. Like you say, the in-season champion really doesn't relate to the end of the year playoffs and who was really successful at that time. Also, so it's like, the cup's a good thing to make people more competitive in the beginning of the year and give people a chance to earn some extra money they may not get. So I like the cup all in all. I'm not like, if they just make it, you get a little trophy and we keep it pushing, like, I'm cool with that too. Like, but we're gonna see what happens with it.
Yeah. The conversation was my fault. I was reading the group chat. The conversation was the Knicks decided not to. They obviously clearly won the NBA Cup, but they decided not to hang a banner for it. How do you feel about it?
I love it. What we hanging a banner for a mid-season NBA Cup? That's not a real championship. That's just a new tournament that the NBA just brought to spice it up a little bit, throw them a little bit of extra money to make them compete a little bit harder than we know they do every night. That's all that was. A banner? Absolutely not. That that's like very like forced, I feel, because it's like the NBA Cup isn't even an every night thing from the time it starts to the time it ends. They have it every other day. So some games count and then some games don't. I don't like that. So no, I'm happy that they not putting out back.
For sure. For sure. I get it. I get it. Listen, the whoa. Anyways, Trae Young set the return for the Hawks. Does this change this team at all? Like, or is this just another, or is it like are we starting to believe in the Hawks? It seems like their young core is finally coming along. And barring health, you could make an argument that they could be a fairly decent team. And I say barring health because we know that their top two guys, in Trae Young and Kristaps Porzingis, are, not the healthiest guys in the world. But Trae Young coming back, does this make them a better team? Tom?
It was funny.
Yep.
I want to say it should make them a better team. I just don't know if it will. The reason I say that, like, we know Trae Young offensively, like, he's 1-on-1. Like, that's, he gets in the court, he's gonna be able to score the basketball. But when we go on the other side of the court, what are we really getting out of Trae Young on that side? Like, he gonna be out there, but he ain't guarding nobody. He not trying to guard anybody, and I get it. Like, he's small frame. I'm gonna give you everything I got on the offensive end. Might get you 30 and 10, 35 and 15 if I'm feeling nice. But the team now, they share the ball more because they don't have a true like ball heavy point guard like Trae Young. And then I think the biggest thing for it right now is Jalen Johnson has been taking leaps because Trae Young's out and he's been playing with the ball more. So it's interesting to me because I just want to know how that's gonna mesh now. Like, Trae missed a good amount of time, and now like Jalen, he not the same player, or he not playing like the same player he was when Trae was there. Like, now he done took leaps forward. You bringing Trae back, Jalen role kind of changes again. So it's like, how do we incorporate Trae without losing what they found within themselves as a team? I don't know. I think that's gonna be tricky for them. They can figure it out, man. They got some good pieces over there, and they could do something. I don't know what that something entails. I can't go like Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, but like if they can figure it out, they'll definitely be a playoff team. Might win a series, but I think the biggest question is that Trae Young, Jalen Johnson dynamic and how they figure out to handle that.
B.
Man, this makes the Hawks a lot worse from what I've been seeing. I watch him a lot. Like, it makes him a lot worse. Reasons being, like Ty said, defensive side. We already know about that side.
And they
I have a problem.
On defense.
I have a problem with offensively too. Him coming back, I think it makes them less efficient. I think that it makes the offense stagnant. Jalen Johnson, he proved this time that Trae Young has been out that the organization should trust him and give him the lead way and give him more of a green light. Like, his numbers, he was like, I believe he won Player of the Week or Player of the Month
a few times. He won Player of the Week a few times.
So it's not like he just taking a little spot for like a team that's like losing games without their superstar and just putting up empty stats. No, he like started leading them to wins while being one of the best players in the league while Trae was out.
22, 10, and 8.
Yeah, like it instantly became triple double watcher every night. And Trae Young isn't like most small guards like Brunson and them, where though they can play off the ball. Trae Young can't play off the ball. He needs the ball in his hands, for one. Secondly, he turns the ball over way too much. So the risk reward when you use on the offensive end, like he doesn't score at an efficient enough clip on offense to be the liability that he is on the defensive side. So that's why the Hawks tend to be in a lot of bad situations a lot of times. Like you said, they move it smoothly. Okonkwo, his role, I love how his role is on the team now between him and Jalen Johnson. They're a duo now. Like I really believe that they should move on from trade next offseason or try to trade some pieces, some draft capital, maybe something. But I just feel as though he's not on. I believe I believe he got his second contract like maybe 2 years ago.
I think so.
I think like a few years ago he got his second contract. I know he got the max, I think.
He did.
Yeah,
he got a max.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that.
But like it's just a lot of empty stats for me. Like when you look at his shooting percentages and then how much he turns the ball over, for you to have that on top of being a cone on defense, is just like you just you putting up 25 and 10, but you the reason your team is in a hole trying to come back. So it was like
next year is the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if anything, I see him thugging it out.
45. He make 45 this year, 48 next year.
Yeah. So if anything, at the worst, I see them probably thugging out next season with him, and that be it. Because the next big contract gonna be Jalen Johnson. When it's time to sign him, and Okongwu, he's looking like, and they're gonna have to sign him back too for at least 20 a year. So that's gonna happen. Porzingis, he got a lot of injury problems.
Trade him.
He on the way out. You're gonna have to try to get capital at that point because don't nobody want Trae Young for the value that the Hawks want to ask for them to get players in exchange. So
not to mention whoever trade him gonna have to pay him $48 million, and I don't know.
No, that's a fact. That is a fact.
Pay him $48 million and be ready to pay him for his new contract whenever when it comes with that.
No, that's true. I say they should look into it because I don't know if letting him walk for anything is the answer.
Nobody going. You gotta think, right? When you think of all the point guards in the NBA, that can't play defense. All the guards that can't play defense. They're normally both of these things. They score better than Trae, and they're more efficient if they can't play defense. Like I said,
Jalen Brunson is a cone out there, but he good for 45 and efficient 45 too.
Yeah, it's not many possessions y'all gonna go without him scoring. We see Trae Young we'll see him go 5 for 19, 1 for 10 from 3 with a bunch of free throws and like 6 turnovers. But at the end of the game, he got 30 and 10. But he was a cone on defense and had a horrible shooting split with turnovers. So it's like you just dug the hole. So it's like Luka. People say he's a cone. Luka's not a cone. It's just one thing I learned this years ago.
But he definitely was a cone.
I learned this years ago when I started like actually paying attention a lot more. When you have the load that Luka had on offense, yeah, it's an effort thing because Luka can play defense. It's an effort thing. But the reason it's an effort thing,
sure.
If he does that, he's not going to have any injury on the offensive side of the ball, and he got to produce way too much. So it's like
you want him to go out there and have 45, 10, and 12, then you got to live with. Which is why a lot of people say it's not winning basketball, which I get, but
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's just
one of them things you got to take the good with the bad and see what you can make happen.
I don't believe that, and I'll tell you why I don't believe that. It's different because Jalen Brunson, right? Cone. The only thing you have to do, and I said it when the Mavericks made the finals, and they didn't even have what the Knicks had. When you got a guy like that, all you got to do is surround them with defense. You got to surround them with defense. You can't get slackers or half defenders. You see, they got McCall Bridges, OG. They got Cat on the backside. They got Mitchell Robinson out there. They got all defensive guys all around them. And then they got another guy that's a point guard that can score off the bench and Miles McBride. So the Mavericks, the closest they ever came to that, you see that run that they had in the finals, we was considering Derrick Jones, he took that leap for a defensive player. That's why the Clippers liked having him. Like he took that leap. PJ Washington too, he took that leap. But it's like that's not good enough to make up for the defense you need around Luka. I promise if you give Luka a starting lineup where you give him a 5 like DeAndre Ayton, like we have now, a center that can score as a lob threat, and you give him 3 and Ds with the shooting guard potentially being able to put the ball on the floor at times, that's gonna be a championship team. It's just Austin Reeves and Luka on the floor at the same time. And I'm a Lakers guy, but like as far as when it comes to postseason, I just don't think that the offense, like I don't think it's gonna make up for the defensive side, especially with LeBron being on the floor with them too. So they're gonna have to figure something out.
I agree though. Like you said, with Luka, I really think it's effort. Like you say, he uses so much energy on the offensive side of the ball. I'm sure he's taking plays off defensively, but then you have the habit because people, I feel like teams know that now we're targeting him, so like he can't really escape it. But I want to ask now,
same as James Harden back in
for sure. I want to ask now: is there a winner from that draft day trade between the Mavs and the Hawks? Now that Luka is
absolutely,
in LA.
it's absolutely a winner. Now, when you get that deep, like when you say when they did that trade between the Hawks and the Mavs won the trade. I thought they won the trade from day one. Like they both parties got a lot of all-star player, but we knew who was the better player. So it was like you couldn't go wrong. But the Mavs definitely won the trade ASAP. And then with that trade with Coop, it just added even more to it. Like whereas though definitely, but for the Mavs situation, it's a little bit worse.
Out of it, you got a finals appearance out of it. The Hawks got a few good, first round playoff series where Trae Young walked off the Knicks and waved goodbye to the fan. I mean, that was fun, but the Mavs got a finals appearance out of it. And did they lose? Sure, but I'd much rather be a finals appearance team than walking off. Only reason I don't look at it for the Mavericks now after the Lakers trade as like a potential bad trade, because the way the trend is going, Anthony Davis don't look like he's gonna have much time left, and it's not due to the fact that he can't still play at an elite level. His body just isn't allowing him to. Like he got his eyes permanently messed up. Like he got to wear goggles the rest of his career from that injury that happened last season. But in the term of if he doesn't play much longer, with the potential ceiling, that's why it's a what if, but it's looking like it's trending in the right direction. If AD don't play much more, the player Coop can become, it's like, yeah, we gave up Luka, but we got an 18-year-old number one pick who's gonna end up being our franchise guy and being a top player in the league. So it's like, I'm pretty sure we all see Coop getting comfortable. Is the first month or first few weeks, it didn't look like this. Now he's more comfortable. He's starting to play how he's supposed to play. They were trying to force him to be a point guard, and that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, I think he'll get to a more about a no. Jesus Christ! I think he'll get to a more ball dominant role. You know what I'm saying, as his career goes. But I think right now, you know what I'm saying, that's just not really where he at. But he'll get there. Next thing with the NBA, the Bucks. Terrible right now. 11-16. Just took a 45-point loss to the Brooklyn Nets. And of course the Giannis trade rumors are swirling again. Is this fixable? Because Doc says that they don't need they like their team and it's not going to take big changes for them to turn it around. He likes what they have in the locker room. Is this fixable or are they cooked?
They're cooked. First, to begin with, just Giannis' trade request or trade rumors or whatever he went and said to them alone tells me everything I need to know. When your best player is not locked in, bro, the rest of your team don't stand a chance. It don't even matter what they do. Giannis, beforehand, we know Giannis, like, he wanted to be in Milwaukee. I don't think that's the case anymore. Like, the future's up in the air. You know how Giannis was. I'm a Buck for life. I'm gonna stay here. This is my future rat, but that's not what the tune he's singing now.
All that sounded good when you was a championship contender,
right?
I think every superstar that's been at that status said that in the peak of their career ended up leaving.
So I'm saying, so like even then, and I just don't think You gotta think, Ron, when we look at that team that won the ship, they had Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. You feel me? Before Middleton injuries and all that kind of stuff. But like when we look at the team now, I don't even know if there's two players on that team I would take over them two from that championship team. And I think that says a lot. You can't try and recreate success and the team's getting worse. Again, like they want Giannis to carry everything. Now he averaging 35. He over there, he a triple-double watch because now he got to do everything. He got to create the offense. That's why he averaging 8, 9 assists now. Or averaging, but he's getting games where he's having 8, 9, 10 assists. He's gonna get on the boards because his size, and he got to score. That's what he does for them. They just don't have enough around him. And my whole thing was, why? What are we doing though? Like when you have one of the best players in the world, I feel like it should be focused on making sure we put the best team around him so we can compete year in and year out. I don't think they've done that. And I can understand Giannis' frustrations because it's like, where's my Robin? You feel me? Like we just Batman. Like I'm saving Milwaukee alone. Where's my Robin? Where's my sidekick? He don't have one. And in this day and age, bro, nobody's winning by themselves. So it's cooked for them. And I think they should just trade Giannis, to be honest. Catch it now before you don't get nothing from him.
B.
Well, that last thing, I don't think it's ever going to be a bad time to not trade Giannis and be worried about not getting value that you're going to get. That's just not going to never happen. But the main thing about the Bucks is two things for me. One is Doc Rivers. Two, I think everybody need to take a look and start realizing Drew Holiday might be the most impactful player in the entire league. Like, you go look at when the Bucks won that championship, they won the championship.
When the Celtics won?
Very next season, he went to Boston, changed the entire complexity of the Boston team. He's in Portland. Anybody that watches basketball have seen how Portland looked with Drew Holiday on the floor this season, and he got a bigger role with scoring and being a ball-dominant guard. Drew Holiday has always been that type of guy, and the Bucks at the moment are missing that. They got a lot of elite offensive talent. Kevin Porter Jr., he back. He's finally starting to come into his own. Ryan Rollins, if anybody's seen him balling. Kyle Kuzma come off the bench at times. Every name you see I'm naming is offensive-minded guys. None of these guys have never been known to be defensive guys. The only guy that's a defensive guy is Miles Turner
playing it big.
Yeah, Miles Turner, and he's not even. And Miles Turner is a 4 type of center because he's never been an elite rebounding center. He's always been one of those perimeter centers that don't like getting rebounds.
Yeah, he starts the floor. That's what I'm pretty sure that's why I signed him, but that ain't helping.
But I never liked that though. For you to be a shot blocker, he always in the paint. He just don't get rebounds. Miles Turner's always been a great shot blocker. He just don't get rebounds. Like his position is bad, all of that. But then what you expecting from Gary Trent, you're not getting. So there's a lot of guys. They got the right idea. But I feel as though they're just not going to be able to do that with Doc. If you go back and look at how they looked before Doc, when we all was scratching our head as to why they let go of their coach, and we found out Giannis and him had clashed, I believe they were like the 2nd seed or 1st seed. Ever since Doc's been there, their record, if I'm not mistaken, they're probably almost 500, if not below 500, since he's been there with last season and this season together. And it's just not working. But Doc's maintaining his job due to his resume. And what he did in the past is not awful. It's just like they would say, what have you done for me lately? And Doc haven't done anything. He's just there, if I'm being honest. Like, we've seen Giannis slowly start to turn into how LeBron and those guys are. Like, he's been calling plays a lot more in the huddles now. Like, it's just different. And Giannis, I can tell, for him to be almost at the end of his career, like, he got about 6 years left. Like, he kind of tired of that. And he still dominate, but we all know as you get older, you get smarter. Your body, you can't get away with the things you used to get away with, and you need more help. They had got Damian Lillard. It was unfortunate, got a season-ending injury. But on top of that, like you said, Ty, about him having a Robin, he had a Robin, and offense wasn't the problem. It was defense. They don't got any defensive minded guys. So until they do that, if they don't decide to do that, it's just not going to work because they might as well trade Giannis. Doc said nothing's going to change it, add any players. So his mind's made up. And I'm pretty sure Giannis know they need defensive guy. So one of them is going to have to give. Either Doc going to have to get let go for you to get a coach that's willing to change things, or you just going to have to let Giannis go and keep Doc and see how that go from there. Like they're done.
I hear what you're saying about Doc. I don't think this is Doc's fault. Listen, Doc has been in a lot of situations where he's fumbled what we consider to be championship teams. One thing you've never said is that Doc's teams lack defense. If you look at those Celtics teams, yeah, you think about the big three, you think about how much Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and them produce, especially with Rondo leading that offense. But if you look at them teams, you know how big defense was on them Boston Celtics teams with KG Roman, Big Perk Roman, Big Baby Roman at times. You know what I'm saying? When those guys were at the height of their careers. If you look at them Clippers teams, those guys played the hell out of defense. If you look at JJ Redick's philosophy of playing basketball now, you can assume that a lot of that comes from his time spent on the Clippers with Doc, learning about how to play defense, knowing that even being at the peak of JJ Redick's career, he was probably a top 5-6 shooter in the league at that time. You know what JJ Redick also did? He guarded the best player on the team, not the best player on the team, but he 9 times out of 10 was guarding the one. But you also had Chris Paul guarding the one. You know what I'm saying? If you think of all of Doc's best point guards, they all were ball dominant guards that ran the offense, that also played defense. Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo. You know what I'm saying? He had wings that played defense. Paul Pierce, we know him for being the answer. There or not. Jesus Christ.
Truth.
Yeah, the truth. I mean, sorry, Virginia boy, I'm always thinking about the answer. We know him for being the truth, but he played defense until the end of his career when he went to Brooklyn. Kevin Garnett played defense till the end of his career when he went to Brooklyn. Yeah, he made a lot of money in that mid-range, but he played great defense as well. I don't think that this is really a Doc issue. I think this is a front office issue because the dismantling of this team started way before Doc ever got there. And the team that Doc inherited from the dismantling of this team from the front office, I don't think Doc would have chosen many of these guys to be on his team. He probably would have chosen Kevin Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? He probably was fine with Miles Turner. Obviously, Miles Turner got there in the offseason, so I'm sure he was fine with that. But these aren't like, I'm looking at this roster. I'm looking at Ryan Rollins, who's, becoming a good player. That's fine. But I'm looking at AJ Green, Gary Trent Jr., Cole Anthony, Taurean Prince, Mark Sears, Jericho Sims, Peter Nance, Gary Harris, the Nassus, of course, Amir Coffey, and Andre Jackson Jr. None of those guys am I looking at, and I'm like, this is a contending team. I'm not looking at any of those guys to be on contending teams ever in their careers, really. Miles Turner obviously was, but you know how heavy they were with defense as well. Their wings played great defense. Miles Turner was still out there giving up 40 to Cat in the playoffs as well. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They figured it out, but he was still out there giving up 40 balls. He wasn't out rebounding nobody on them teams. They was just going blow for blow, shooting the lights out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at this team, and I don't think it fits who Doc Rivers is as a coach. And maybe you could say that they're making a case to try to turn it around now with the additions of Kevin Porter Jr. and Miles Turner. Obviously, they went and got 2 guys in the offseason. But I'm just looking at it and I'm like, bro, is this a Doc Rivers thing? Like, this can't really be a Doc Rivers thing if I'm looking at it and I'm looking at, if you gave Doc Rivers those teams that were championship run teams, I think he's able to win championships with those teams. I do.
I feel as though the situation, like, I agree with you with the Doc Rivers thing. Like, last season was Damian Lillard's best season defensively in his career with Doc. But it's more so like you're gonna get elevation to their game, but like you only can get a player to play but so much defense when they are offensive minded players. Like one of the guys that they don't play.
Mention, as you talking about, Dame, what we really know is that while last season was his best defensive season, it was probably one of his worst offensive seasons.
for sure.
You know
And
what I'm
that's the
saying?
difference.
So
And
you
that's
just
the thing
looking at it
about
from a
Doc.
big picture. You just looking at it from a big picture, and you just like, I don't know if these are really Doc issues as much as like schematically. Like, I'm sure schematically Doc would love to have a Drew Holiday on his team, right? Like a point guard who can lead your offense, who can run your offense, who also can guard your best player every night. Drew Holiday would have been the perfect fit for a Doc Rivers team.
There
I
is only
think.
one person. There is only one person on the. I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, you good. Go ahead.
There's only one person on the team that I have a problem with, like his minutes that I've seen play that I know can give them a lot of help.
Who?
And people don't probably think this, and that person is Andre Jackson.
Okay.
If you watch Andre Jackson, he's a high energy wing that guards your best player on the floor.
Yeah.
If you watch him, and he's a slasher. He'll knock some shots down if you like when he's left open, because teams tended to do that a lot because, like, you know, his shooting was questionable. But we're currently seeing prime example, not saying he's them guys, but the blueprint of it, the Thompson twins being a person that's a liability as far as shooting, but you giving 110% effort on defense, and you're a defensive minded guy that can slash at times. That's what
I
I
think
get from Andre Jackson when I see him play. Anytime I see him on the floor with the Bucks, and it
I think
changes the
you're
game a
right.
lot.
I think you're right. I think the only problem is you look at a guy like Andre Jackson and you're like, yeah, but when you look at the rest of those teams, like you just mentioned, if you look at the Thompson twins, they're surrounded by Duren, who's coming into his own as one of the premier scoring bigs in the league. I don't know. First of all, we'll get to that because I don't know where that came from this season. He went from just a live threat at times to now all of a sudden he going out there.
We're going to get to it
a night for sure. We'll get to it. But yeah, so you look at Andre Jackson and you look at the if you compare him to the Twins, right? Like I think that's a great comparison. Only problem is you look at the Twins and they have the teams that they have, right? Like you look at Amin, who's now playing point, and he's a liability, but he can play point. He's also 6'7". I think Andre Jackson really looks like he's probably.
I think he's 6'7". He's like 6'7".
Is he?
He gotta be.
Is he a true 6'7"?
He look big on the court, bro. I don't know if his wingspan might be insane, but when I watch him, he's like.
I'll give it to you. Say this. I'll give it to you. But the problem is, they have him listed at 6'6", which means he's probably 6'5". When you look at him, though,
come on, man.
No, I'm saying, like, to your point though, if you want to go with 6'7", I'm cool with it. But here's the thing. If you look at the Thompson twins and you look at Amin, who's in Houston, he's 6'7". Their whole lineup, he's the shortest person on their lineup though. They made a 2K lineup and are figuring it out. And I wasn't sure if it would work, but they're figuring it out. And they also have true scorers on the court. You got KD on the court. When you have an Andre Jackson on your team, having a KD on the court is better than having a KD on the court or a Sengun on the court. Or if you look at the other twin in Detroit, having a Duren on the court who can stretch the mid range or can stretch or Cade Cunningham who can stretch the three ball. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like they got to be a little bit. I feel like they got to be a bit. I don't know. I feel as though they haven't figured it out and they got to be patient because honestly, for the Bucks, my perfect starting lineup would be Kevin Porter Jr.
Okay, a cone.
But he's not a cone. But with what he can give you on offense in a Doc Rivers system with the size he had playing point guard, that would help a lot for him to be the point guard. I'll go with him. I'll go after him. I'll say you could put Gary Trent in.
Okay.
After Gary Trent,
and I'm taking Gary Trent over Andre Jackson. I just wanted to be clear.
After Gary, here's the thing though. After Gary Trent, give me Andre Jackson at the 3. Give me Andre Jackson at 3 because Gary Trent, he's a sniper.
Yeah.
KPJ, he's a great shooter too. Like he's became a great shooter. You got him, Giannis at the 4, with Miles at the 5. So now in the concept of that, right? You're going to have the worst shooter is Giannis, right? Andre
Okay.
Jackson. Andre
He's your
Jackson has
second worst
developed.
shooter.
Andre Jackson, your second worst shooter. He's developed more of a shot, right? That's why he can be your cut man a lot because Gary Trent's not cutting a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna
KPJ is
run into
normally gonna
Giannis.
be KPJ can shoot, right? And we
Yep.
see Giannis has developed a mid range game, and if you leave him wide open, Giannis is shooting that now. That's what I'm saying. Like he's shooting it if you just leave him wide open. Like if you wall up, because he don't like that wall. That wall giving PTSD. You make a wall, Giannis not going into that wall anymore. So you give him that, and then Miles Turner, one of the elite perimeter centers in the league. I feel as though it really just will come down to Andre Jackson's work ethic and developing a shot and making sure he does all the dirty work on the court. But like, I would
I
like
hear you,
that.
but
I would
are we
like that.
taking away Ryan Rollins minutes per Andre Jackson?
Absolutely not. He's going to be the starting point guard off the bench.
Fair enough, I guess.
Cole Anthony. If we're trying to fix this defensive problem, that's for one. We cannot have a 6 foot point guard coming off the bench that's not even going to give us what we would expect. You got to have Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, Kyle Kuzma, Torian Prince, and Bobby Portis come off the bench.
Cause right there alone, like Bobby cool.
You see why this is a losing team. Like you see what we
I'm
trying to
not
figure
saying it's
out.
not. I'm not saying it's not a losing team. I'm just saying that if you're gonna keep Doc, and we got all these shooters and scorers, if Doc, this is what I be saying. This is what I be saying about coaching and whatever. If we don't have the offensive guys, and you're a defensive minded coach, make up for it. Show us what you're about. You're a defensive minded guy. Get these guys to buy in the defense. They are already natural scorers. Make them buy in the defense.
I think it's just tougher than that. Anyways, though, let's move. I think it's tougher than that. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I hear what you're saying. I don't completely disagree. Detroit Pistons, 21-5. Looking decent out there. Looking decent out there. Cade averaging 27. Jalen Duren averaging 11 boards. Cade obviously getting his 9 to 10 assists a game. But the bigger topic of discussion here is Jalen Duren, because Jalen Duren, over his fairly short career, averaged 9 points his rookie year, 13 his second year in 2023, 11 last year, and all of a sudden he's taken off and he's averaging 18 points per game. B, you said you know how and why he's averaging 18 a game. I need you to explain to me what the hell is going on, why Jalen Duren is all of a sudden a very good scorer of the basketball.
He started training with guards, man. You gotta remember, he got in the league at 18. He was still a baby. That wasn't his true game. He was a man amongst boys. He looked like that since he was about 16. People thought that he was way bigger. He got a Dwight Howard build at 17. And that was crazy. People would say man amongst boys. He trained with guards over time. We already knew Cade was going to be this. Like when they had that historic losing season, anybody that was watching the Pistons knew that the team was perfect. It was the coaching. That was one of the rare situations where it was coaching. Jalen Duren, if you go back and watch his high school tape and everything, like, in high school, that's when like you tend to look like you can do whatever you want. And he used to shoot the basketball. But as you get older, they tell you, you know what? You're 7 foot. Go get on that block and put that hand up. You ain't going on the perimeter. We got guys that's here for that. But with him being an elite lob threat with Cade, and Cade becoming arguably the best point guard in the league, Jalen had to develop a mid-range shot and whatnot to keep teams off balance with the pick and roll, pick and pop. Because when he set a screen for Cade his first 2 seasons, we knew what was coming. It was an automatic roll. And if the lob wasn't there, Cade was going up through contact or taking a mid-range shot or passing it out. Now, when you watch the Pistons, it's unpredictable now. You see him set a screen. You see him set a high screen. He rolls. He pops. Cade might hit him with a pocket pass on the midi, and then from there, Duren, he do what he do, whether it's a pump fake, get to the cup, or hit stop and hit you with a quick mid range. But the root of all of that is he started training with guards, and it's like when you watch him, you just see it in his game. He got a little bit more of a better handle. His jump shot, he got a little bit of confidence now with the mid range. His mid range the form looks great from what it looked like the first year or two. The form looks great. So with all of that said, I'm loving this. I think that Cade and Jalen have became the best point guard center duo in the league as far as chemistry and everything. You're going to just see it all come. You're going to see it all come full circle. It's a bunch of young guys. They're not exactly what the Thunder are, but their mentality as a team isn't far off from the Thunder, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it isn't there, but it's a bunch of young guys that bought in. And when they all bought in, you start to see the differences in the team. And that comes with Cade starting the entire thing when he realized, hey, yeah, I just got here, but this is my team. And I got to take over when necessary. And ever since we started seeing Cade do that, everybody just followed along with him. We see Cade's arguably the best fourth quarter player in the league. When we see him play, that man, a good amount of times will go and give you 8 points in the first half. He'll have 12 going into the fourth quarter, finish with 30. He's done that a good amount of times. I know you can vouch. You probably didn't watch some games where he done that.
Yeah.
But you see Jalen Duren out there, Duncan Robinson, he's finally found a home. I love that for him.
There's been a few times where I didn't stop looking at my hypothetical bets and been like, man, this nigga done sold my fault. This dude that sold me. And I look back
be the
up.
one to do it. Always be the one to do it.
I look back up at the end of the game or later on in the night, like, oh, I know that joint sold. Let's just see how much he missed by.
Getting cleared. And Jalen Duren, I'm loving that about him is a lot of guys, when they get into the habit of being a perimeter scorer or, they get a slight mid-range game or whatnot, they tend to dial down their interior dominance. Jalen hasn't done that. He's still in that paint, doing what he need to do offensively and defensively. So that's why I feel as though with their team having this kind of record, Cade averaging 28 and 10, whatever he's going to average, Duren averaging about 18 and 10. I think that for him, with it being winning basketball, I think that's all-star worthy for the way he's been playing.
For sure. Tom?
I also say that I think the Pistons I think Bickerstaff has made it a priority to get Duren involved offensively. Like last year, I don't think it was a lot of we looking for you to score. Like it was more so, how you say, pick and roll with Cade. If you get a lob, cool. We're gonna have somebody put up a shot. If you get the rebound, get a putback. That's probably how majority of your points is coming. This year, it's like they want him to be like a focal point in the offense. They want him to find his spots, get him involved earlier and quicker and more. I don't want to use the word efficiently, but more. I feel like the way he want to play as well. I think they're letting him chase his freedom this year, and I think they're reaping the benefits of it. And I will also add to say, I don't think they have a lot of people who can per se get their own bucket on their team. I don't mean that I mean that as in like they got a lot of shooters, people who can but they don't have like creators to get shot buckets. I feel like Cade does a lot of that. And I think when you get the ball to Duren and let him work from, the nail, the free throw line and in, he can do that. He's strong, he big, and he physical. There's not too many bigs who can really, for 48 minutes, like compete with that. Like the physicality, the strength, like that's a tough guard, bro. And like you say, he young. All that's energy.
He had his time. I feel like you shouldn't look like that and play like that at 19, 20 years old.
That's what I'm saying. So with all of that, I feel like Bickerstaff seen that and he was like, let's make this more of a priority this year. Like we know what K is gonna get us, but where can we get other players on our team to improve? I think Duran was probably their biggest, like, man, we can probably take him from a 10-10 guy to a 20-10 guy, and what would that do for our team? So I think all of that's coming to fruition this year. But for sure, you gotta respect the Pistons though. 21-5, bro. I was watching them hoop against the Celtics 3-4 days ago, and like you say, bro, watching Cade, like, easy. I mean, one thing I understand about Cade, but another thing I like about Cade, bro, he play his pace. Like, he don't get sped up. Like, when you watch him, everything is on his time. And I think that's the best thing about his game. But yeah, about Duran too, though. But like, yeah, I think they got a good foundation set in there over in Detroit. So in a couple of years, I think they're gonna be some real problems. Like, they'll make some noise this year, but I don't think they're gonna be that team, probably like 2 years from now.
Before you go, Cole, you want to know one of the biggest things that people have ignored in the Pistons that I think is going to be the key to elevate them to the next level? Having Ivy lead in the second unit now since he's come back from his injury and started throwing him back in the starting line. I think leaving Ivy with that second unit, letting him run the unit, we see how he was before the injury. He was like getting to a very high level. So I think letting him lead the second unit, Cade sometimes at the end of the games when the game's closing, leaving Ivy out there with them, I think that's going to have them at the next level.
Yeah, I like the comparison to OKC. I think it's a young squad that just get after it every night, and you're gonna have a hard time. A lot of these teams in the league are gonna have a hard time keeping up with that. It's that same thing where folks was like, "Yo, is OKC gonna be able to contain this for the whole year?" Like, actually, yeah, because they're just young. They're young enough. They young and they go. Like, they just go. Like, really, really. You know what I think about OKC or not OKC? Well, OKC and Detroit and San Antonio for that matter. They are the byproduct of all of the people that say these young dudes that all they do is hoop every day are a problem. Like, yo, like, what happened to the two sport athletes, man? Like, no, but yeah, I hear you. But sometimes them dudes, they just really love to hoop. Like, this is what you're seeing. OKC, San Antonio, and Detroit. What you get from that class of guys that you're like, yo, that the AAU ball is terrible. If everybody remember, we all knew Jalen Duren was elite, but the biggest question we had was how well was he going to be able to play organized basketball? We knew he was coming off that AAU circuit. We knew Penny Hardaway basically just created an AAU team over in Memphis, and we was like, I don't know how well that's going to work. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work for Penny in Memphis, but what we do know is that these young guys that just go, they just play basketball all day, they hoop all day. We know that it's a hard thing to just keep up with them. I like what you said about Jalen Duren training with guards now, like, because you're right. Like, people did try to turn him into kind of an old school kind of, you know what I'm saying, big man, which I don't think was the proper thing to do. But you're right. He had the Dwight Howard build at 17.
They saw the dominance, so
yeah.
they just was.
Yeah, we just gonna put you back. We just gonna put you down there. You're gonna post up. We're gonna work on your footwork. And so it worked. You know what I'm saying? It got him to where he was, but he had to elevate. And I think a lot of times what we're not seeing is guys still elevating in the league anymore. We're seeing guys that come in, and if they're 10-point per game scorers, they just kind of float their way through their years as 10-point per game scorers.
They get comfortable with their role.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing a lot of guys still elevating the same way. And I think that the biggest plus for Duren was that we always knew he had an ability to do what he's doing now. It was a matter of was he going to be able to elevate his game? I think it's kind of one of the biggest knocks on. We was just talking about Milwaukee. It's kind of one of the biggest knocks on Giannis was that it took him so long to elevate his game farther than just being able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when you look at young Giannis, who wasn't as big, who wasn't quite as, you know what I'm saying, as Diesel, he still could kind of do it. He was still a little versatile. He was a little more versatile. Once Giannis got big, it was like So you just want to play a Superman game now? Like,
It took
all
a
right,
high
cool.
level. It took a high level guy to actually see that potential because
Yeah,
it was hard to see that.
yeah.
But I
Nonetheless,
do like that though. In
yeah,
terms of what you were
nonetheless,
saying.
nonetheless, Jalen Duren was one of them ones where it was like, I don't know if he gonna elevate. He did elevate though, and you're seeing it work out for the Pistons, and the fact that they're now 21-5. I think one of the biggest things that you looked at when you looked at this Pistons roster was you were relying heavily. Like, do you remember when they first picked up Tobias Harris, like from Philly? You was like, damn, we got to rely heavily on Tobias Harris for a lot of scoring.
Yeah.
Like, if Jalen Duren can become not, he doesn't have to be an elite second option or third option or per se, but if you can count on him for 18 a game, I ain't gonna lie, that's tough. It's gonna be tough to guard them now, because you knew you could kind of X Jalen Duren out of the offensive equation. You can't do that now. If he's gonna be a reliable 18, you know what I'm saying? And it don't even have to be 18 through a full season. If he's gonna be a reliable, you know what I'm saying, 16 to 18 guy, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna be a tough guard.
I
So
do
yeah,
love what you said though about like to piggyback on what you said, because you said originally about how you liked what I said about the comparison with Thunder. The Spurs, like, remember what we said the other day when you like was like you was like it was like with the Spurs, like that's the main thing. Like those are the three teams you gotta look and think like when you look at the rosters, bunch of young guys, and it's like when you're in your early 20s, especially if you're a high level professional athlete, you've been doing it your whole career or since you was a child. One thing that as professional athletes, what we like to see is like how they can sustain this. Before you hit that 25 age, it's sustainable just for the fact of youth. Like you're just not gonna gas out yet. You're young, like you just got energy. So the time you're expecting to gas out is just not gonna happen. Like the youth is just there. The only type of gas out you may get is like prime example, like with Anthony Edwards when he had called out Kyrie in the playoffs and he was fighting for his life, chasing him around. That's probably the most you're gonna get. But
I
as far
think
as
the
like
biggest
night
problem
and
there
night,
was roster too, bro. Like when you look at Anthony Edwards, I don't think ever in his life did he expect to. I think we always knew Anthony Edwards was talented. You just didn't expect him to have to take a Luka type workload on the offensive end, and that's what he ended up having to take from Minnesota. Another guy who just kept elevating his game when Anthony Edwards came into the league. I don't think anybody expected him to lead the league in 3-pointers, like, right? You know what I'm saying? But
I wouldn't say I did. I wouldn't say I didn't, but I will say
not
that
this early. I
that
wouldn't have
playoff run
expected
was the
it this early.
blueprint. I think that playoff run was the blueprint for what you said, like how he had you didn't expect a Luka role, but I think that was the blueprint far as okay, our franchise guy. If we're going to expect him to go out here and lead us and give us 30 a night, we can't have him guarding the best player on the other team every
Yeah,
single possession. We just can't because he's not going to be able to sustain it. Anthony Edwards is one of the most energetic players in the league, and we saw what it did to him guarding Kyrie and trying to go on the opposite side and score at the clip that we was used to seeing him score at the entire postseason. And it was their downfall. If I'm gonna be honest with you, when I watched that series, Ant just didn't have it anymore. Like he
yeah.
was just too. It was just too much. And when you relied on guys like Julius Randle, like you said a week ago, about how you just don't trust a guy like Julius Randle yet, it's just like at that point you got to just sit there and ask yourself what we're gonna rely on, because yeah, we have Ant, but every superstar might have a time where they are just off, and we're gonna need a guy to take that load. I think that's why Jaden McDaniels, if you watch him, he's became more of an offensive threat lately, and it's like I love it because it's like Jaden, he's never going to be the number one option, but he's the number one option defensively.
Yeah.
So if he can take a little bit of load off of Ant sometimes when we need it, where he can go create his own shot and not just be a catch and shoot, and then go guard the best guy, I think that helps Ant conserve some of his energy defensively and then score at that clip on offense.
I tell you what, talking about that, and we started this NBA conversation with the Hawks. another team who hasn't completely dismantled their roster the same way that the same way that Milwaukee has, but losing a piece in Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Atlanta Hawks.
That hurt.
Minnesota losing him. I
That's
don't
where I
like
think
that.
a lot of people don't realize. Those are the situations where I think a lot of people don't be understanding that some role players, like, they genuinely aren't replaceable to like how people be thinking, how as easy as people think, because there's not many guys like Nickeil Alexander Walker, but him and Jaden Daniels are like similar to me in their
Yeah,
game. They're
yeah.
very similar, and like, if I'm gonna be honest, it isn't many guys that is fit that criteria with them too. Like, if I had to sit here and think, it would take me a while. I might be able to think of somebody, but I don't think of anybody that is linky, as a linky wing at 6'6". Well, Nickeil Alexander Walker, he's like 6'7", but Jaden Daniels, we know he's about 6'10", 6'9". But we don't really see many guys that's a linky defender, an elite defender, that can create a shot for himself whenever he need to. It just doesn't happen. And then you had him coming off the bench with Nas Reed, so it was like they went on runs together.
Hey, bro, how much money do y'all think Rudy Gobert makes?
Genuinely, a year,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that the Wolves are overpaying him and giving him, I'm gonna say, between 27 and 32.
Ty, how much money you think Rudy Gobert make, dog?
Too much.
How much money you think Julius Randle make?
Julius Randle, I'm pretty sure they gave him at least like 35.
Yeah, well, so I know he like third. He got to be in that 30 range. I
Rudy
think Rudy in
Gobert.
that 30 range too. He might be a little higher.
Rudy Gobert makes 35 mil a year. Julius Randle makes 30 mil a year, dog. This
Them
is
depoys
them
killed
depoys,
everybody.
man.
They was the worst depoys ever, bro. They just killed it. And I'm not mad at his agent. I would have did the same thing, but that just you had to give me my money, because like, I'm 3-time defensive player of the year, and it was the final straw. It was the final straw when they gave it to him over Wemby, because Wemby was a rookie. I didn't
Yeah,
like that at all. They just didn't want to give it to the rookie defensive player of the year, and they were terrible. And now you see it over time. It's like he's not that anchor that Pew was trying to make him out to be, because he was getting defensive player of the year. It's like we go at Rudy. Like, we're not avoiding Rudy, but like, I don't think he's getting another contract like that again. Like, I think he might need to enjoy that one, because what was that, his third contract? That was his
bro,
third one.
serious? This is insane. I ain't gonna lie, their roster construction is crazy.
Nasty.
I know Dante getting probably I know Dante might be touching at least 20.
Nah, Dante only touching 12.
Ooh,
Dante only touching 12.
He
This
stole
is the
Dante.
crazy. This is the crazy
How
one.
much McDaniels making?
He making 20. 24. He making 24.
Nas,
Nas,
the only one overpaid.
yeah, Nas just got his contract for 21. That's cool, but Johnny Juzang makes more money than Bones Highland and Joe Ingles. Rob is making 6 off his first round contract. This is insane work on their roster.
And this messed up, because they genuinely could get 2 guys for that price of one. Rudy's the only guy getting overpaid.
Yeah,
and it's exceptionally high. They could be getting a 20 mil a year guy with a 15 mil guy, and
they could get 2 10 mil guys and call it a day they could get 2 10 mil guys and call it a day, or 3 10 mil guys.
I put Randle in our conversation too. That's a personal opinion. I personally,
how I feel about the Julius situation.
30 mil. I feel like that's 26, 25. I think is a fairly good amount.
I wouldn't lie to you, for what he is to Minnesota. I don't mind him making 30 mil.
And I'm not for Minnesota for sure. I would say it's a personal, just like I probably, if I was running Minnesota and if I wanted to move Cat or Rudy, I personally probably would have moved Rudy. I just don't think.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think he adds what they think he be adding. But that's
I think that was
my opinion.
I think that was absolutely dumb of him to let go of Cat instead of Rudy. But then again, they made that sacrifice because New York wouldn't agree to that if they offered
I'm pretty
if they
sure.
offer Rudy instead of Cat, they wasn't
Yeah,
going to do it at
you
all.
had to give up
So you
something.
had to throw Cat. You had
Yeah.
to. And then
They
you look at
guard
the
play,
Knicks. You
though.
look at the Knicks. I would say they probably the Knicks might be the perfect example as far as the play style of guys you get balancing out their pay grade.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think OG's overpaid. Not at all. Like, OG, what you get from OG, all that money is deserved. I think he the highest paid player on the Knicks. I think he make more than Brunson.
Nah. Cat the highest paid. Cat making 54 right now.
Good God.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. That Rudy
Cat
on
make-
that 35 sound kind of cool.
Cat make
Now that's the problem. He's insanely overpaid. I don't even think Brunson make 35.
Yeah, he took a pay cut. We know that.
Hold on.
You gotta be joking.
I need that to well. That's
I don't know if I'm sold on that OG Mikal.
that's what
No, I've been sold on OG.
Okay.
Mikal is
ain't gonna lie, and it only gets worse from here, bro. It only gets worse from here. His cap hit in 2024 was 49 mil. This year, 53.
Oh my God, 57 and
2026, 57. 2027, 2028. Player option, $61 million.
They don't want he'll be gone before then.
4 years, 224 is insane for you to be on that level. I'm sorry, and it's not like he's not. But as we talked about the other day, we've seen the potential to where the Cat can be a top guy. It just he don't have that consistency. And I just was having a conversation with my man's Cat game is very predictable. He settles a lot.
Who's giving this man 61 mil?
The New York Knicks.
And Brunson not
They
even
all
seeing
in,
and
bro.
Brunson not even seeing 35. He might be the third highest paid on the team.
How much y'all think how much y'all think Jalen Green making in Phoenix right now?
Oh, I know Jalen Green making good money. Jalen Green, I wouldn't be surprised if he was seeing like 37, 38.
He making 33.
I about to say like 30, but that's not about right.
Making 33.
I'm a Jalen Green guy, so y'all will learn that. I'm a Jalen Green guy, but it ain't going. I don't like the talks.
I ain't gonna lie. The Lakers need to go ahead and get right before they got to pay Austin. They still giving Austin 13 mil.
Yeah, that price is going way up.
Believe it or not.
Hey,
want me to tell you something?
Rui getting 18. Rui getting 18.
Want me to tell you something? Hard truth about that Austin Reeves situation. It's only one way you can pay Austin Reeves that money. That's when Braun gone.
Oh, for sure. But Brian about to retire anyway. Savannah want him home.
So Braun,
good.
if Braun decide he want to play, the Lakers are gonna have to pick because the guys that
He
they
ain't gonna be
have,
there that long.
he's not gonna be there that long. But Reeves, I'm pretty sure he expected to get paid. He declined what they just gave him. They got to pay him soon. They just tried to lowball him before the season started. They offered him, I think, like 4 years. They offered him what Giddey making. I think they offered him like 4 years, like 120 or something.
Yeah,
well, he done double that.
He gonna get.
You know how much that price never went up since the season started.
Yeah, he making 14 mil next year. But Bron gonna retire. They're gonna be able to give him more money. Bron, honestly, if Bron want to keep playing, Bron gonna take a pay cut. I'm not gonna lie to you. It don't matter where Bron go. He taking a pay cut. He gonna drop in about 40 to give Austin 20 ish something. I
gotta ask y'all a question though. Like, and Austin Reeves, he was already making good money, but I think the biggest question for it, a guy like Brock Purdy, you see, like, how would y'all feel or would y'all thought process be going from Mr. Irrelevant? Your annual contract is under $750,000 a year. And after your rookie deal, you go from making $750,000 to over 45 in one contract. That's like the biggest leap like I ever seen in a contract in one.
Hey,
He went from a rookie minimum. Them guys on the bottom of the bench yesterday for the Knicks game, they making that $750 a year or $500,000,
I would have been.
and he making almost. I think he making almost 50.
Yeah, Purdy. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The moment I went like this in that contract, boy, I'd have been on cloud 9 forever. I'd have been like, what?
Man, I would just make it 750,000. So after
Ain't nobody
taxes,
even
probably like 300.
ain't nobody even think I was gonna last in the league, pick me last in the draft, and now I done up the score like that.
They
Yeah,
said that man.
okay.
They said that man was driving a Toyota Camry, and they said it was to the point where he had a roommate. He just went from having a roommate to buying him and his wife a house.
Crazy what playing quarterback can do for you. All you gotta have a couple
And it's so
years.
crazy because the Niners are the only team I think that would allow that. They might be that might be the dumbest team when it comes to quarterbacks. I didn't think they would do something like they did with Jimmy Garoppolo again, and they went and did it.
I think because Purdy was young, I think they're like, maybe we can. But like, I probably wouldn't have paid them that much. Garoppolo for sure. I feel like
They paid him off for 6 wins.
I feel like they'd be a lot of teams for that matter. I feel like they be taking big swings on quarterback because they know that position's so important. They feel like, man, if I can take this swing and we hit it out the ballpark, our team's set. But it don't be working out like that. They be too quarterback happy. And then when you turn around, it's like, man, but that ain't
Especially
worked
if you've
out.
been
Now I
in a
done
bad
lost
spot.
30, 40 mil. I done lost draft picks. Like,
Man, it's so crazy because just like the Jets, it's so crazy seeing how much teams value quarterback, and then like instantly they will just like, okay, we're giving them some teams will give them a year and be like, we're done. Some teams you see they give 2 years, then we're done. Like, and then like the one I was confused about the most, then you get rare situations like Justin Fields. Why is he getting so many chances to prove himself? I think he got like 4 entire seasons. Up until last year, everybody just decided to move on from Justin Fields. He was still starting this season. What is like year 5?
yeah, 5, 6. We're somewhere in there for sure.
And you don't see that from guys that play like him and they keep a starting job this long.
I really think with Chase Fields, his size and the potential of what they think he could be if he put it all together. Like the other quarterbacks, like I would say one part of Fields' game, his legs. I do think part of that gets him a job because it's like he can be dynamic that way. And it's like if we can get him to be just as dynamic passing the football, we might have something. But like you say, after 5 years, bro, you are what you show me. Like,
Well, if I'm being honest with you, guys like Justin, you know what my issue is with the NFL with quarterbacks like him, and it's the one thing that kills me the most. Not unlike Zach Wilson guys. That's my favorite position. I used to play quarterback when I was younger. I studied quarterback a lot as to this day. But my biggest issue is when we see a talented quarterback, when they go and play, you give him so much time. And one of the biggest problems is the IQ. Like majority of the quarterbacks have all the talent in the world. Like Justin Fields, he has an elite arm, everything. He just can't put everything together as far as the play calling, IQ, and everything, putting it together all at once. So when you can't put it together, that's the most important part. I feel as though you got to have IQ over because you can manage a game like that over having all of these elite skills. But when you get somebody you see as a generational talent, you try to hold on to it even though you know their brain isn't there. That's what I get from Daniel Jones. Elite talent, but his IQ just isn't there.
I'm gonna chill on the Colts because bro got hurt. They were falling off, even though, but because he got hurt, I'm gonna chill on them. And it's funny, I got up here and was like, my bad, bro, I was wrong. And then immediately after that, they started falling off. Like as soon as I got up here and actually gave them props, they started losing. Like
He was supposed to stay down. He was supposed to stay
facts,
down.
bro. I was watching and I was like, man, like they look good. What am I supposed to do? And
He
then
gave up too early. He supposed to stay down.
yeah, I gotta take some notes from 50 Cent, bro. My hater watch ain't we ain't
Like
where
I'm
we need to
staying,
be.
I'm still staying down. Y'all probably don't know this. I told you, Cole. Actually, I told both of y'all when we was talking about like the nasty. I don't think you was here, Todd. I think it was P. But we was talking about like, the nasty thing we said. One of my nastiest ones. It was looking like when that was like Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback. He's a franchise. He's elite. It's starting to turn for me because it's like it's been this way. When he plays, they win games. He just be hurt, but when he plays, they win ball games, and it's starting to turn. It's just the IQ and everything got to come together. You got to put it together, but it's just showing.
You're done. You're good. Before we get out of here, man, let's talk about these college football playoff games.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start with Bama, Oklahoma. Now, I'm not a betting man, but the spread, I do tend to look at the spread just to see what the world thinks. Hypothetically, if I were a betting man, I do like to look at the spread to see what the world thinks. The world has OU at 1.5 right now. B, who do you have? Who do you like? Why do you like them?
Man. So I really want to say Oklahoma, but it's two outcomes with that. And the only way I have Oklahoma is if we get the John Mater before his hand surgery. If we can get that John Mater before his hand surgery, I have Oklahoma. If we continue to get the Mater we've been seeing, missing easy throws, not managing the game correctly, then I think it's going to probably be Bama due to them turning the ball over. Because I don't expect Bama to make it far just due to the fact that they don't have a run game. I think Bama don't even have a top 100 run game in the country, but they're top of the conversation when it comes to passing the ball. But as we see in some of these losses, you can't pass the ball every single play. Like, no offense, but like this isn't Madden. Like, you can't come out here and pass the ball every single play and expect to beat a team when they get used to seeing what you're running. So, Oklahoma, if Mater show up, if not, I'm going Bama.
So
I'm going Alabama. The first time they played, Bama turned the ball over 3 times. They lost by 2 points. I think Oklahoma defense is probably one of the best in the country. I'm not, like you say, I don't know what to think about the quarterback right now because of the hand injury and all of that. He was having a really good year before that, but
he was the Heisman at that point.
But ain't nobody beat Alabama twice in one season in a very long time. A very long time. For some reason, I think that sticks. And
that left when Saban left.
That's fair. I'm going to pick Bama if they can protect the football. And I think they will. I'm going to pick them. But I think that's one of the games that can really go either way. Like Oklahoma can really squeeze that out again. But I'm going to pick Bama.
Going Oklahoma. Not only did we see Bama turn the ball over 3 times in that game, we just saw Bama get out physical.
That is also true.
And I truly just don't believe in a Kalen DeBoer team to be physical enough to hang with some of these other teams. We saw it with Georgia. We saw it with Oklahoma. We've seen it a few times when they've had to play SEC opponents. And I like Oklahoma. I like their defense a lot. I like what they can do on the offensive side. I do think John Mateer is a really big, important piece to this game. But if Oklahoma comes out physical, that Bama team tends to fold, bro. That Bama team tends to fold when teams play them real physical.
I will say that.
They're not the same anymore. It's like that's just the SEC cloth, I feel, and then the experience
And
of coaching.
the
Like you
board is
get
not
the
that.
yeah.
He's a West Coast guy. He's a West Coast guy. And when you got to play them SEC games, when you got to play them late year SEC games and teams like, yo, like not going out here to throw the ball
He haven't been
45 times.
around in the SEC long enough for him to have
He
adjusted
ain't
to the
figured it out yet.
physicality. Yeah.
He ain't figured it out yet.
You see how Georgia boys, all of them still is. It's just you. It's something you get every year, no matter how good or bad the defense or offense is. It's just the
Yeah,
physicality you get it every season.
they gonna out physical you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the biggest difference in some of these games between, and I've said this numerous times, I think the biggest difference in some of these games when you look at who Saban was as a coach, and when you look at DeBoer, in a lot of these close games, that even if you look at them and you be like, Bama probably shouldn't have won that game. The reason that they won is because when it came down to it and things got shaky for Bama, it was like, you know what, bro? Like, forget everything else. I'm bigger, faster, and stronger than you. Like, we just gonna live with that, and that's gonna be okay. If I only gotta put up, 25 points to win this game, and just be bigger, faster, and stronger than you, that's just gonna have to be what it is. And you saw Bama win a lot of games like that when Saban was the coach. You don't see that a lot with DeBoer. You don't see a lot of like, you know what, bro? You think you got something going on for real? Let's just slow this thing down. Let's slow this thing down. Let's have a dance in the trenches. You don't see that with DeBoer. And I think the teams are starting to figure that out. And I think Oklahoma is somebody who, when they go back and they watch that tape from their win against Bama, oftentimes a lot of coaches don't really like to watch tape for wins, you know what I'm saying? But or like to get in when you're looking at the playoffs, they like to throw all of that in-season stuff out the window. Like, it's a new season, we in the playoffs. But I think if it's one thing they can look at from that tape and they say, how do we beat these guys? Let's just be more physical than them. Let's just be mentally and physically tougher than them. I think that's their key to success, and I think that's their key to winning. And that's a tale as old as time in football. So give me Oklahoma. Now let's go 12 o'clock game on Saturday. That's a Friday 8 o'clock game. That's why we started with that one. 12 o'clock game on Saturday. Texas A&M at Miami. B, who you got?
I'm going with A&M. You already know it's hard. Now, granted, I don't think A&M have anything for Malachi Tony. I really don't. But the biggest takeaways from that team to me is Miami's run game isn't efficient enough for me. And with their run game not being efficient, like you said, when somebody show you who they are, believe them. I've just seen the story too many times from Carson Beck to assume otherwise. So until he shows me that he can go out there and secure a ball game, especially against an elite defense, a high caliber team, I'm going to be going with A&M. I think they manage the clock, force a lot of pressure on Carson, maybe make a mistake here and there, just win the game.
Ty, we know you got Miami. Why?
I'm gonna pick Miami. I think the defense is gonna be more. I think this game is more about which defense gets more stops than other. I mean, that's every football game. But when I say that, like, I feel like you say, we know about Carson Beck. Like, he has his faults. We don't know if he's gonna look how good he can look, or we're gonna get the Carson Beck we've been seeing, like, when it comes to real one and done games. But I think Miami is gonna lean on their defense in that game, and I think it's gonna come down to, can we hold Marcel Reed and that Texas A&M offense? And obviously we got some bullet board material. Texas A&M linemen. You know, we got 2 potential draft picks in that D line. Texas A&M linemen say that the matchups ain't really that hard for them. Bullet board material. We're gonna see there. I don't think the gap between A&M and Miami is that big. Obviously, you know, SEC bias. Everybody loves the SEC around here. Respect to them. So I ain't mad at it. Like, I genuinely think it's gonna be a good football game. I'm gonna pick Miami. I think Carson Beck is gonna make up for those 2 losses he done had earlier this year because he has no other choice. The bigger thing with this, I think Carson Beck is playing for a future in the NFL and these next whatever games he may or may not get. Like in a draft that's not gonna be very quarterback heavy, he gonna have to fit in where he get in. And I feel like this is the perfect time for him to be like, hey, I can play some ball. So like that alone, Carson Beck in that defense, we're gonna have to ride with him. So I'm gonna have to pick Miami. Well,
What's the
have
spread,
to.
Cole?
Texas A&M 3.5.
I think it was 4.5 when it started, but
Yeah, it's 3.5. I'm going A&M. Partially because Ty has pissed me off to the max with this Miami thing. The other reason being, you know, I like what both of y'all said. It comes down to these defenses. Here's the problem. I don't trust either of these quarterbacks to go into this game and win the game. Here's what I do trust. We know that Marcel Reed is going to take off. We know he's going to run the ball. And as much as we have these conversations about how much we trust dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL, it's a tale as old as time. A dual threat quarterback is a winner in college. Carson Beck has had his struggles this season. I don't see why. I hate to say it. I just don't see why that doesn't continue. He's had his struggles this season. He's had his struggles for many years now.
I think the blitzes gets on.
Yeah,
they're gonna pressure him for sure. So we're gonna see how he managed that. But
and I think Texas A&M
and like Cole just said, in college, dual threat quarterbacks, that's not like the NFL. That benefits you more. And when you're not a dual threat quarterback, throughout history, when you see in college big games, when you get pressured, if you don't detect the blitzes, you don't really rely on your legs. You really rely on trying to make a quick read or throwing it up. And those mistakes tend to get a lot of quarterbacks in trouble. That's not dual threat quarterbacks in big games in college.
Because of that, Marcel Reed's ability to tuck the ball and just run and get 7 to 8 yards a clip, I think is going to allow them more scoring opportunities. I think we know what football is. It's about how many scoring opportunities can you come up with. And I think Marcel Reed will put his team in more scoring opportunities. Now, there's a blueprint on how to beat him too. Texas gave it to you. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but give me Texas A&M.
I hope he don't break 1 for 70 on your time.
You know what I'm saying? 3:30 game, Tulane, Ole Miss. Spread is 17 and a half. Spread is 17 and a half. I know we all got Ole Miss, but do they cover the spread?
Hey, listen, man. I got more reason. Family cousin plays for Ole Miss. Shout out Womack. Man, Tulane and Ole Miss played in the regular season, bro. I watched that game. It wasn't pretty. And it wasn't pretty with Kawan Lacey not even having to be a factor. And we all seen how he closed out the season. That boy about to run all over Tulane. Is coming up. Tulane not going to be able to throw the ball. This is going to be one of those games. I think it's going to be one of those games that show you the difference in conferences and competition. Is going to be the trenches. The trenches, this game is going to show you how big of a gap it truly is, offensively and defensively. The first time they played each other, Tulane was getting pressured. It was so bad to the point where they just completely shut down passing the ball, where they said, hey, we're going to just run the ball. That's how bad the pressure was getting them. And then on top of that, we got to remember how you just said dual threat guys. If there's one guy that's in the conversation for being arguably the best dual threat in the country, it's Chambliss. I believe he gave them about 300 in the air and about 125 on the ground the first time they saw each other. And that's a consistent thing for him. So I just feel as though Tulane isn't going to have enough. Rather, it's Chambliss putting the ball in the air and mixing it on the ground, or Lacey decide to have another breakout game like he's been having. And I feel like that defense just come to play. And by defense, I mean that front seven. I think it's just going to be too much.
How much, being that Kiffin's not there, how much do you think plays a fact into this game or the playoffs in general? Like how different does the team look without him? I'm not saying Kiffin had his hand in everything, but I'm saying
playoffs a lot. This game, not at all.
Yeah, I was about to say, if anything, this game it probably motivates them. Like,
yeah,
it's not good. Yeah, it's not good to play mad. Don't play mad. Sure. Don't play mad. This game is like one of them games where it's like actually they probably a little pissed off. That probably doesn't help the situation at all. It probably
if they carry that into the second round, it might hurt them. But this game in particular, they might beat them by 50 with that mentality. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think the game be close either.
What's the spread?
He said 17.5. Yeah.
Do they cover?
That's awful.
They cover.
That's awful.
Yeah, they cover. All right, cool. Close out with Oregon James Madison 7:30 on Saturday. Why are they playing on TNT? That's disgusting.
TNT.
Yeah, they playing on TNT, True TV, whatever. Tulane Ole Miss is too. Wow.
Interesting.
Okay. And then ESPN gets all the games the rest of the way.
Bro. We close it. You telling me we got the first round, bro, and we're closing out the first round with the two worst games, bro. That's terrible, bro. That's terrible. That schedule should be completely flipped, bro. Completely flipped.
James Madison, Oregon.
What's the spread?
That's what
I need to know that first.
21. Spread is 21. Do they cover?
I actually think they cover.
Oregon covers.
I think James Madison loses less than 3 scores.
Stop being nasty, bro. Please. It's just bad, bro. It's just bad, bro. I've been looking at it all week. I've been looking at it all week, bro.
About 21.
Bro, I've been looking at it all week, bro. It's just like all signs of bad, bro. Like Oregon, bro. Oregon's about to beat them by 1 million, bro. Like it's just so bad, bro. Like
bro.
If you go watch James Madison play, bro, like they're the prime example of a team that dominates their field
competition. Yeah, like the people they play.
And then they will proceed to get excited and get dominated by the team they jump out their body on. That's what James Madison is. And Oregon is very upset with how everybody's been treating them throughout these past few weeks. Just looking at the team and just walk over. We're not worried about them. Everybody talking about Indiana, Ohio State, even Bama over Oregon. That's just gonna get bad, bro. And one of the biggest differences, like I said about last game, Cole, the trenches, Oregon game might be the biggest gap when it comes to their trenches on both sides of the ball. So it might get bad.
I'm supporting a fellow VA team. They're the first team for Virginia to make the CFP. So I just gotta support them in any way I can. So I'm gonna take James Madison by losing by less than 21.
I got them losing by more than 21, but I get it. I do want to support division, but
what score predictions?
I don't even have a score prediction. They're gonna lose by more than 21. Listen, this is the real problem. It's gonna be 7:30 for them. It'll be 8 o'clock for them. And because
it's in Eugene, right?
It's in Eugene, 7:30.
7:30, what, our time?
Yeah, 7:30 our time.
Oh, come on, bro.
7:30 our time. It's gonna be
4:30 over there, bro.
4:30
over there, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be midday. They're gonna be
and they're in Eugene. Of all stadiums, you gotta go to Eugene, and you're James Madison, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I got a score prediction, bro. I got a score prediction, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. 63-10, bro. 63
It's in the
We're
possibility.
gonna,
Sure.
63
we gonna
to 10.
close out right there, and that's exactly where we gonna close out at 63-10. Oregon over James Madison. He says, "Listen, man. Thank you for tuning in to another podcast episode, another episode of Game Recognized. This is Game Recognized Game GRG Pod. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, follow the guys, all that good stuff, man. You know, shout out to the guys, shout out to B for holding it down per usual. We didn't get P and Rye. I thought we would. We probably get them on Friday. Yeah, man. Y'all stay down, man. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell their mama, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We out.